Welcome to the Tinfoil Tabernacle, where curiosity congregates. We are two friends chasing down the truth in areas of mystery. From cryptids to Bible beasts, ancient mysteries to modern conspiracies, nothing's off the table, and everything's worth a second look. Let's step inside the tabernacle. My name's Perry.
And I'm Kyle.
We've been friends for a long time, and throughout that time, we have talked about doing a podcast.
Yeah.
I think most of the time in a joking manner. But that's basically the reason I have finally jumped on board and wanted to do this was that very fact that we've talked about it for so long.
Yeah.
That I figured it was just time to give it a go.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, after I post a photo and you say this podcast is going off, and we wait literally exactly a year from the date that was posted, I think it was time we got this started.
Yeah, the old who's ready for this podcast to drop on Facebook. That showing up in my Facebook memories basically a year to the day that we were about to start recording was pretty
clandestine.
Pretty interesting. But so that's my reason. We've talked about it long enough. I figured we should just give it a shot. We have very long phone conversations sometimes that we have joked about. Just recording those and putting those out as a podcast.
Absolutely.
So I'm hoping that the energy we bring in those conversations can be seen as entertaining in this format. So, one fun and quirky fact about myself is that sometimes I eat my pizza backwards.
Sometimes you got to eat backwards. Sometimes you got to eat it forwards. I get it. Crazy little fact about myself. I once teleported. This will probably come up in a later episode, but we were working at the prison together at the time, and we had decided it was a great idea to take me, you, and a couple of other people out to the land between the lakes and do a hike at the middle of the night, like literally midnight, because we got off at 11. And we had made it about halfway through our hike, and we decided we're just going to take the highway back to our cars because it was already like 2 a.m. And I was taking up the back, of course, being a larger fellow and being a little bit slower than everyone else. And I heard this like crazy sound, rustling and stuff on the edge of the woods. And I looked over, and this thing, like, it stands up. And then it's like on all fours, and then it stands up a second time on its 2 hind legs. And I straight up noped out of there, like full on instant transmission to basically the front of the group. And yeah,
I do remember that. And like you said, we can kind of cover that more in a later episode. But yeah, I remember everyone looked to the side of the road because everybody heard something.
Yeah.
And prior to that, I remember looking behind me and seeing that you were a good chunk behind us.
Yeah.
And everyone looked to the right to see what that sound was. And when I looked back to my left, you were right beside me. And I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear footsteps.
Nope.
I didn't hear any sort of rustling from behind us.
Mm-hmm.
And you were immediately right beside me. So yeah.
Yeah.
That was an interesting night for sure.
It was trippy, and definitely not the only story we've got about Land Between the Lakes.
Yeah, we saw those eyes in the woods.
Oh, the eyes, dude. That creeped me out so bad.
I remember because every time I tell this story to somebody, because that night it was just me and you that had gone out.
Yeah.
And we were at a bend in the trail,
Uh-huh.
And you're like, do you see those eyes? And I was like, what are you talking about?
Uh-huh.
And then eventually, I finally did see those eyes.
And you teleported on me that night.
Well, I don't know if I teleported, but we were standing right beside each other, and the bend in the trail took us in a straight line to where those eyes would be behind us for the next part of the hike. So I so gallantly took the front of the pack on that one.
Oh, you booked it. And I was,
Yep.
again, being my larger self, slower than you, but still keeping pace.
Yeah. So
Oh, man.
I definitely was trying to make sure you were behind me. Because whatever that thing was,
You would have eaten
once
me
it started
first.
eating, I was going to say, once it started eating you, it wasn't going to need food for another couple weeks. So I was going to be able to get out of there for sure.
Yes, yes. Oh, man.
So anyway,
Yep,
LBL stories coming in the future, I'm sure.
absolutely.
Basically, we are two Christian guys exploring conspiracy theories, cryptids, and the strange corners of culture, is what I have written down.
Yes.
Sounds kind of weird, but I guess it fits.
I mean, it's all through the lens of
All
curiosity and faith.
That's true. And we don't claim to have all the answers,
Oh, definitely not.
but we are going to ask the questions. And sometimes pretend like we do have the answers.
Yeah.
So, as we're moving into this, I'm going to play a fun little game with you.
Okay.
All right, canon or cryptid
Doo-doo-doo.
is the game we're going to play. I'm going to read the description of either a creature of some sort from the scriptures, thusly the canon of scripture, or the description of a cryptid of some sort, and Kyle is going to try and guess which one the description describes. All right.
Give it my best shot.
Number one, a massive creature said to dwell in the depths of the waters, with scales that could not be pierced, smoke rising from its nostrils, and fire flashing from its mouth.
It's either a dragon or a leviathan. And I'm thinking it's a leviathan.
That's right. The Leviathan as described in Job 41.
Nice.
All right. Number two, a creature described as swift as the wind, with 4 wings, 4 faces, one of a man, one of a lion, one of an ox, and one of an eagle. It is said to never turn as it moves.
Kind of sounds like something out of Revelations. Thinking canon.
That's right. That is the cherubim from Ezekiel 1, 5 through 10.
Okay, Ezekiel.
Round 3. A nocturnal humanoid with bat-like wings and growing red eyes. Often linked to disaster. Witnesses claim it perches on bridges or towers. Its presence a dark omen.
Kind of sounds like the Jersey Devil. I think I'll go with that.
Wrong.
Oh.
Fake cryptid fan. Big phony alert. That is, of course, the Mothman.
The Mothman. West Virginia. Nice.
Yes. Point Pleasant, West Virginia. I have visited that statue. I have a picture with the old metal Mothman and his large tuchus.
He has a large tuchus.
I don't know who made that statue. I'm sure I could figure out with very little research, but I don't know if I could find the question as to why so much of the metal was dedicated to his butt. Also, fun fact, last time I was in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, I went, I had some time before I exited, because I travel for work, you know this.
Yeah.
And I had some time before I had to go to another job, so I stopped at the Mothman statue for the second time, and I actually visited some of the little shops and stuff around there.
Yeah.
And they have like a gift shop and a Mothman museum in the same building. And it sounded cool to go check out. Now, I don't know, and I'm sure this is not everyone's
cup of tea
experience when they visit this place.
Gotcha.
And I know it's not everyone's because my illustrious friend that I also work with now went there last time
Yeah.
and did not get treated this way, but when I visited the store with the Mothman Museum in it, everyone in that place, like, just acted like they wanted nothing to do with me when I walked in there.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal was, but like I felt so unwelcome the moment I walked in that store.
Just another
So
tourist.
so I did not pay the money to go through the Mothman Museum, nor did I pay the money to buy anything from them because I just felt like no one wanted me there, so I left.
So I found a report on the old Mothman's butt. It says, "Please stop putting quarters in the Mothman statue's butt."
I've seen pictures of coins and money, like dollar bills and stuff shoved in there. So
Yeah.
maybe not a family friendly attraction.
No, I mean, not the butt.
Yeah. If you take your kids to the Mothman statue, stay in the front part.
Yes, yes.
They're not ready for the back part until they're at least 18 years old. But yeah, so the Mothman Museum place felt very unwanted, so I left, and then I went up the road. And I wish I could remember the name of the store I actually ended up buying some stuff from.
Yeah.
But it was a super cool little, it had like Pokemon cards and stuff. It was like a comic book shop. And of course I bought some patches, like a Nessie patch. And I think I had a Mothman patch and some other stuff that I bought from them. Because when I walked in there, they were so friendly and welcoming that they got my money.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're ever there, I'm not saying don't go to the museum, but, you know, I guess vibe check when you walk in the room.
Yeah.
See if they want you there or not.
Yeah.
Because they definitely didn't seem like they wanted me.
No. And the sculptor was Bob Roach. He was inspired by a painting by Frank Frazetta.
Does it say the painting was of
the Mothman?
Oh, okay.
It was after the 2002 movie, so dude painted it. Another dude made a statue.
All right, so that was Canon or Cryptid plus Mothman talk, apparently.
Hey, Mothman talk.
So let's talk a little bit about what our favorite cryptids and our favorite conspiracies are, seeing as that will be a good chunk of the material we'll be covering on this podcast.
Yes.
I'll jump in and take the easy one. My favorite cryptid, obviously, is Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And the reason behind it, I believe, is that he is most likely the real one out of a lot of them, has the most likelihood of being an actual thing.
Yeah.
Also, the personality resemblances we have.
Yeah. Larger men, furry. Though I have the bigger feet and you have the smaller feet.
Like my thing is we both like the outdoors a lot.
Yeah.
And according to Bobo on Finding Bigfoot, Squatches love bacon. So that also fits me pretty good.
Yeah.
And
it's almost a bit of a kinship. I know my favorite cryptid, funny enough, actually comes from your home state. He's a goofy little guy called the Loveland Frogman. And he's from this little town outside of Cincinnati called Loveland, Ohio. First reports were back in the 50s, early folklore and stuff, may go further back. He's a humanoid frog-like creature that stands about 3 to 4 feet tall, stands on its hind legs, and has pretty much leathery skin and frog-like facial features.
So
some of his earlier sightings are like a businessman spotted him and several other figures like him under a bridge. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's funny that my favorite cryptid is Bigfoot, and you look a lot like him, and then I look a lot more like your favorite cryptid than you do.
I mean, you're not 3 to 4 feet tall. You're only about 6-7 inches shorter than me.
Even so, I'm pretty froggish.
Well, the crazy part is some of his earlier stories came with him running around with a wand that sparked electricity, almost wizard-like.
Wizard frog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. He's even got a quirky mascot and a popular song. So, yeah.
There's a song
Just a
about
funny
it, you
little
say?
dude. Yeah.
Huh. We'll have to look that up later.
I mean, it's called Hot Damn, It's the Loveland Frog.
Language. This is a family
Yeah,
show.
so we're going to have to cut that part. That's why I was kind of avoiding the name.
I mean, who would have known? All right. The Loveland Frog. All right,
Loveland Frog.
Let's step into the realm of conspiracy. My favorite, and I guess the term favorite here is being defined by the one that has taken up most of my life in terms of time spent being interested in the subject. And that is, my favorite conspiracy is going to be the flat earth. I spent about 5 entire years digging into it, and you know this because
being a flat earther,
we've talked about this a lot, and you have been, one of the people at the time that I trusted enough to say anything about this to.
Yeah.
So you definitely heard a lot about it.
Oh, I heard a lot about it. I even sat through that one dude's sermon, Greg Locke or whatever.
Greg Locke definitely would not have given a sermon. Oh, you're talking about the debate between Greg Locke and Dean Odell, the flat earth versus round earth debate. Yeah, I actually attended that for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
It went on for 4 or 5 hours total, I think. So I was able to drive from where I live to Greg Locke's church, go to the conference, and I think the original advertised time for it, I thought it was going to be about a 2-hour thing.
Yeah.
So I was able to drive all the way there, which I think is about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive to get there, spend 2 hours there after it started, and then drive all the way back home and pull the live stream of it up on my phone and continue to watch it. So
I watched the live stream all the way through, and it got ridiculous about halfway through, man.
Yeah, Greg Locke, he's an interesting fellow. I don't know. So
yes,
but both of those people, in fact, are interesting fellows when it comes to the side of the argument they land on. Because, and I mean, fact check me on this if you want, people that may or may not be listening, but I think which one of the reasons I'm not so bought in anymore is they did a thing called the final experiment where some flat earthers went to Antarctica and saw some things that don't make sense on a flat earth, that being a 24-hour sun, and also circumpolar stars.
Yeah.
Neither one of those things seemed to make any sense on a flat earth. But, so Greg Locke was very staunch on his side of the argument where the earth is a globe. And Dean Odell, of course, the exact opposite of that. So much so that after the final experiment, when Jaron Campanella was the guy that kind of got me thinking back in the globe direction.
Yeah.
When he came back, he was one of the ones that went to Antarctica. When he came back and basically had turned his entire life around, because for the last 10 years, Jaron had been talking about the flat earth, and that was basically his livelihood. That's his entire YouTube channel, basically. That's what he talked about most of the time. And he immediately made a switch. Total about face, back to the opposite direction.
Yeah.
But if I'm remembering correctly, Dean Odell said something to the effect that they did not see the 24-hour sun in Antarctica, and Dean Odell was not one of the ones that was there. Just the ones that were reporting back said that they saw a 24-hour sun. And Dean Odell said that, something to the effect that the sun that they saw was just the devil pretending to be the sun to fool them, so they would, tell people the earth wasn't flat anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, when you're contradicted and you're trying to, which, I mean, it's even brought up in the Bible multiple times that the earth is flat, the firmament and the four corners, the four winds. So when you're standing on a religious platform, sometimes you like to use the devil as a scapegoat.
Right. So, and I think and the Bible can be interpreted in either direction to try and prove the flat earth or try and prove a globe earth. So, anyway, that's the one that took a lot of my life away from me. Yeah. And the funny part about it is the way that I got bought into it was when we worked at the prison. There was a lieutenant that worked there, and I spent a lot of time trying to be silly, and I sent him probably hundreds of flat earth memes, just messing with him. But since I was finding them and seeing them and reading them, it eventually got me thinking, like, well, maybe I should look into this a little more.
Exactly, yeah.
So, me being silly totally got me bought into something. So, I don't know.
I mean, not just that, but your belief that NASA is, lying to us, which, I mean, I'll wholeheartedly agree with you on that.
Yeah, that's another thing. Just because I may not be totally bought into flat earth anymore doesn't mean I believe everything NASA says either. I still don't think they are being totally forthright. So, all right.
Yeah. So the political standpoint of it, I mean, that just leads me into mine, which is
what conspiracy gets your goat?
It's a rough one, but it's one that made me kind of realize some things about at least our country and the people that live in this country. It's the JFK assassination. This whole belief system that not only did a magic bullet travel through the man's head, down through his chest, out through his kneecap into the governor in front of him from some rando who couldn't shoot for his life out of the military, and all the different little, the Warren Commission trying to say it was a magic bullet, your, House Select Committee trying to say that it was likely a conspiracy. I mean, everything that's been released about it, all these files, even, his brother being, pulled into it between Vietnam, all this other stuff. It just kind of made me realize that was one of the first big moments our government realized that they could get one over on us and we'd believe it. A lot of the sheeple talk and stuff like that would come up, and I don't know. And then you've got this legal case out in Louisiana, I believe it was. I can't remember. Kevin Costner did a movie on it, but he was able to charge 3 other people with an assassination attempt on the president on the exact same day as Lee Harvey Oswald's shot. So we're talking about 4 different shooters right there, all trying to take out one person. I mean, and again, I'm kind of a big, I wouldn't say anti-government guy, but I know the government's going to lie to us. So that's my big one.
That may not be the last time you hear us cover those topics on this podcast. Now, we're going to get into Triple C News.
CCC.
Triple C, obviously, standing for Conspiracy, Cryptid, and Christian News. I just wanted to make a quick disclaimer. The first story and subsequent stories later on that you'll hear may cover things that are deemed political. Yet, I want you to understand we are not trying to push any political beliefs one way or the other on this podcast. So, I'm going to read these news stories, and then we will talk about them a little bit.
Absolutely.
After each one. Article 1. Also, none of these articles are in their full, total. I'm not reading full articles. I'm reading condensed versions of the original articles, and links to these articles will be in the show notes.
Yeah.
Article 1. The conspiracy article. Chemtrail conspiracies enter U.S. politics. Florida Attorney General James Uthmire, I think I'm saying that right,
Yeah.
warned airports of a new law banning cloud seeding or geoengineering, framing it as a public health risk. Violators could face felonies and $100,000 fines. His letter suggested cloud seeding may have contributed to recent deadly Texas floods, echoing long-standing chemtrail conspiracy theories. These theories, popular since the 1990s, claim planes release chemicals to control weather, health, or mines. Despite no scientific evidence, they gained momentum during the pandemic, linking with anti-vaccine groups. A 2017 study found about 30 to 40% of Americans believe chemtrails are at least somewhat true. The Florida law reflects a wider trend. More than a dozen states have proposed similar bans, and Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene plans federal legislation. Even EPA Chief Lee Zeldin acknowledged public distrust before clarifying contrails are harmless. Researchers stress that no large-scale geoengineering projects exist. Only limited scientific studies explore the concept. Conspiracy believers, however, latch onto small kernels of truth, like past cloud seeding experiments, and expand them into sweeping claims. Experts say these theories persist because they make extreme weather seem controllable and shift blame for disasters away from climate change and fossil fuels. As bans spread, scientists predict nothing will change. Contrails will remain, storms will still occur, and conspiracies will continue to evolve. So, the idea here is it's lending credence to the chemtrail conspiracy.
Yeah.
Is what it seems like it's doing. This guy's pointing out this stuff. Old James Uthmire.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It kind of correlates with the whole idea of cloud seeding. I mean, it's been done. It's been proven that, when you fly through a large cloud structure and introduce things like silver iodide, potassium iodide, or even like dry ice to clouds, they will gather around those chemicals and create rain. I mean, it's been proven. I believe it was GE who first ran studies on that. Again, if I'm wrong, please, anybody feel free to let me know. But I mean, it all kind of started with back in the 1940s. I believe the dudes' names were Vincent Schaefer and Irving Langmuir. Basically introducing this idea that clouds will, or at least water, will gather on these chemicals. So, I mean, I'm not going to say that it's a full-blown real idea, but it has been proven that it can increase rainfall.
I mean, also putting chemicals into the environment is how they stopped the tornadoes and twisters.
I mean, yeah, you've got that movie, but then you've also got things like
documentary.
Yeah.
Twisters.
Okay. You've got things like fluoride that is put in our water systems to, quote unquote, making it pure and cleaning certain chemicals out of it, when fluoride has been known to be used on livestock and humans to lower their inhibitions or to make them more feasible to being, a yes man. So
those are definitely words. I think the takeaway here is that the government does not do anything to hurt us, only to help us, and we all have to just remember that.
Yeah. Okay.
And speaking of the government, moving on to story number 2,
Mm-hmm.
the cryptid story for this episode.
Yes.
and that is California's Bigfoot bill. California Assembly member Chris Rogers has introduced Assembly Bill 666, which would officially designate Bigfoot as the state's cryptid. The move would give the legendary creature a spot alongside state symbols like the California poppy and the redwood tree. The bill emphasizes Bigfoot's cultural importance in Northern California, especially in Willow Creek, often called the Bigfoot capital of the world. The small town hosts an annual Bigfoot festival, features murals and statues, and draws thousands of tourists each year. Rogers explained that while other mythic creatures like Tahoe Tessie or the Chupacabra have local followings, Bigfoot stands apart as a symbol woven into California's history, folklore, and tourism economy. Assembly Bill 666 doesn't assert Bigfoot's existence scientifically, but highlights its value as a cultural heritage and identity for California. If passed, Bigfoot would become the state's first official cryptid, adding a whimsical twist to the Golden State's official emblems. So obviously, first off,
yep.
Assembly Bill 666.
Uh-huh.
I know some people have the belief that Bigfoot, along with any other cryptid basically, is just a demon of some sort.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that's true, then this bill numbered 666 makes sense. I guess.
mean, it happens to fall in an interesting kind of way. I don't know.
For sure.
I mean, I think it's fun. I think it just so happened to fall on that number, but on that same token, you know, just kind of gives me some weird feelings about it.
It's just like, bro, why couldn't you let another bill go through real quick?
Yeah, exactly. Like some municipal bill or some crazy stuff. And then it's like, all right, cool, Assembly Bill 667. But I mean, it's like buildings not having the 13th floor, or, you know, hotels not having the room 666. It's, I mean, kind of focusing on a number that could be taken as a very evil thing. But yeah, I don't know.
Totally just superstition.
Yeah.
I'm not superstitious.
No.
A little stitious, maybe. Yeah. I mean, it'd be cool if Bigfoot was California's cryptid, I guess. Yeah. And it looks like I'm going to have to, sometime in my life, make it out to this Willow Creek, which is apparently the Bigfoot capital of the world.
Yeah.
So that'd be a cool road trip.
Definitely.
But, speaking of road trips, story number 3. The Christian segment of this news section. We're going to talk about how, allegedly, Joe Rogan has been attending church ever since he had his big interview with Wes Huff on his podcast. Yeah. Podcast host Joe Rogan has begun attending church regularly, according to Christian apologist Wesley Huff, who first appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience in January for a deep dive into Christianity. Huff says he's had ongoing conversations with Rogan and has confirmed his consistent church attendance, describing him as very inquisitive and open to faith discussions. This comes amid a broader revival of Christian interest, with Huff noting a surge in young people seeking Bibles and referencing how Ascension's Rosary in a Year podcast briefly overtook Rogan's show on Apple's charts. Backing this trend, the American Bible Society reports that Bible usage rose from 38 to 41% in the past year, with millennials up 29% and men up 19%, signaling a cultural shift toward renewed engagement with Scripture. So I have noticed also recently that within the past couple of years, anyway, I've seen a lot of bigger names seeming to make the decision to follow Christ,
Oh yeah, openly. And because for so many years it's been stigmatized to be open about your religious beliefs. I mean, especially if it's Christian in a country that's supposed to be a massive melting pot. You know, I know that.
Yeah. People you wouldn't even necessarily think. I've seen, Russell Brand, Kat Von D. Those are two names that come to my mind.
Absolutely.
As I'm sitting here. And I don't know where they are currently. I mean, even like Kanye West said he had made a conversion, and I got no idea what happened there. But
oh man,
like, you can only hope that their hearts are actually
in it.
But yeah, I've just seeing like random bigger YouTubers, kind of going back to Christ, like the not Mr. Beast, but his buddy Chandler that was on his channel. Yeah. Now his TikTok is basically just him like reading through scripture every day.
Yeah.
And you see the dichotomy of Chandler versus Chris, who made totally different decisions about their life.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I've seen a lot of bigger name people seeming to go back to being Christians.
Yeah. I mean, I know a big one for me has been Shia LaBeouf. Like after, the movie with the tank, he played a heavily Christian character in that movie. Constantly reading from the Bible, reading from that sort of stuff. And between him and the guy that plays Shane, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, from The Walking Dead, the both of them really got into it during that movie, and it like became such a big thing that Shia LaBeouf actually ended up doing that movie Padre Pio, where he's literally
he was a priest.
Yeah, a Christian priest in Mexico, I think, or Spain, one of the two. But
yeah,
I mean, there's been a massive resurgence. Not just that, but like men. I would say that most churches I've gone to throughout my life has been mostly women showing up. Their husbands don't want to come in, or they just don't want to deal with it. They don't want to face it, and at least at the church that we've gone to, I noticed a huge resurgence in like different men showing up for church and coming in with their wives or coming in with their girlfriends or, just whatever the situation is. So yeah, to hear that not only famous people, but like regular people are coming back to Christ, it's a big deal. It makes me excited.
Yeah, it's a good thing for the culture to be moving back toward Jesus. Yeah. All right. So that's good. Yeah, I see. Hopefully Joe Rogan sticks with it. And,
And a lot of these other big names, if you're bringing it back to the public, I hate to say it, but I mean, the public is so easily swayed by big name figures. It's like,
yeah, that's the thing.
We fall too easily on, big names instead of seeking out God ourselves. But if they can at least, plant the seed and get people to come into the churches and stuff, I think that's a good deal.
All right. So we are coming toward the end of our podcast here. Yeah. By the time this releases, you can find us on Facebook at the Tinfoil Tabernacle and on YouTube at the Tinfoil Tabernacle, and hopefully a couple other places by then.
Yeah, we'll work our way into a few different things.
So if you hear this and you can go track those down, like and subscribe and all that, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
And as we're coming to a close, I'm going to get into a segment I like to call In Him. In this segment, we're going to go over scriptures that basically those words appear in.
Yeah.
In Him. So that we can see our identity in Christ in those scriptures. And today, we have one of the probably most known scriptures ever. One of the most known verses in the Bible.
Yeah.
For this is how God loved the world. he gave his one and only Son, so that everyone who believes in him will not perish, but have eternal life. And that, of course, is John 3:16. So that highlights that believing in him can lead to very positive outcomes.
Absolutely.
In your life and after your life. And speaking of the afterlife, should you wish to join Jesus there, one of the first steps is getting saved. So I'm going to read Romans 10:9 and 10. If you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For it is with your heart that you believe and are justified, and it is with your mouth that you profess your faith and are saved. That's one of the, in my opinion, most straightforward and simple verses in the Bible on salvation. So,
Yeah.
if you have it in your heart that you want to start leading your life with Jesus as your Lord, and I like to tell people to think about that word Lord as like the boss, the decision maker of your life. If you've come to a place in your life where you don't think you've been doing a great job of leading it, maybe it's time to let Jesus take the reins and see if he can get you somewhere that you haven't been able to get yourself. And I can tell you, he absolutely can.
Absolutely.
So, that's it for our first gathering at the Tinfoil Tabernacle, where curiosity congregates. Outro music.